Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this unboxing, walkthrough, first impressions kind of video about the Gentle Tarot by Mary in the Sky. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm really excited to dig into this one with you. I have already taken off any external packaging and made sure everything was in order and all of that kind of stuff, but we're going to get into it. This deck was sent to me for review and I am really excited, really excited about it. So if you saw my most recent anti-haul, I anti-hauled this deck, but you can really see me in that video struggling with the concept of not getting it. I kept getting drawn back to it. I kept watching out for it. I kept watching walkthroughs of it. There's something about this that was really drawing me in. And it's more than I feel like just the name, but there's something about the energy of this. And I haven't had that experience in a while, so I don't really know how to explain it. But we're going to get into the cards and go through card by card my first impressions now that it's in my hands. And we'll see if that translates the way that I think it might. But we're going to get into that in just a second. This postcard came with it, which is really lovely. It's got this gorgeous whale that looks like it's like in the middle of like going backward, but it's got this like rainbow, almost looking like it's holding it or catching it. It looks kind of like a whale trust fall, if that makes any sense. But it's really pretty, and it is a usable postcard. Love, Mari. I'm going to say Mari because I think it might be Mari in the Sky. Now, I will have links down below where you can check out this deck for yourself. This was originally funded on Kickstarter. So let's get into it so you can check it out. I love me a chunky indie deck box. Can we talk about that? Like, how lovely is this? It's really beautiful matte. So on the back here it says, heal yourself, heal the earth. The Gentle Tarot is an indigenous-made, hand-drawn tarot deck filled with imagery influenced by life in remote Alaska. If you're looking for a way to gently delve deeper into self-care and self-love in your daily life, or if you desire a way to engage in meaningful conversation with your friends and family, the Gentle Tarot is your perfect companion. This labor of love uses colorful art to inspire connection with our natural environment. This set comprises of 79, there's a bonus card, hand-drawn cards, and a 196-page guidebook. 10% of the proceeds from this deck will be donated to ocean and climate change research. Yay! The website is gentletarot.com. I'm just going to bring that in so you can see it. But again, I will have a link down below as well. So let's get into it. I love that a portion of the proceeds go to ocean and climate research, particularly since the theme of this deck really feels like it's inspired by connection to the planet. I think that's beautiful. Let's take a look. So we have this gorgeous guidebook. Oh, it feels so good. It's like chunky, but it feels like there's something about paper. Like this paper feels like really lovely. Yeah, it smells really good. I don't know why I don't always do it on video, but I love the smell of decks. And there's no plastic. There wasn't when I opened this either. There's no plastic or anything on the inside of the deck, which I really appreciate. Oh, look, stay wild, dear heart, it says on the inside of the box. How beautiful is that? I think that might be one of the card images. I'm not always a fan of this interior like tray situation because as you can see, mine is already a little bit like smushy, but I will probably move this deck into a bag. I do wish that the deck and the book were the same size, but I can probably keep these together. I think the book is still small enough that it won't like curl or wrap around the cards in a bag, so I think that'll be fine. But I do kind of wish everything was sort of sized to the same size. That said, I'm a little particular because I do keep my decks in bags. Let's put the box aside. Okay, let's put it up there so I can see it. I love the backs, and these cards feel really smooth. These feel exactly like I think it's called a satin matte lamination, but it is that sort of super smooth, silky feeling. It doesn't feel like rose petal finish. It's not fuzzy feeling or fabricy feeling, but it's just super smooth. Love that. And there is this gorgeous matte gold gilding on the sides, and the cardstock feels like it's probably a full 350 GSM. Really beautiful. So I'm really excited to get into this. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can't not notice this. So right off the bat, we have, I'm sure I saw this in walkthroughs and I just forgot, but there are purple borders around the majors, blue around the cups, yay, red around the wands, yellow around the swords, thunder it's called, and green around the pentacles, which looks like it's called stones. Cool. Okay, so let's get into it. I love it, especially a slim border like this, because it'll be really easy in a spread to see what our elemental mix is. And I do factor that into my readings when I read for clients and for myself. So I'm excited to see all the artwork. Okay. All right, so here we have our Fool. There's this rainbow down below him, and it looks like he's swimming towards it. So you almost get that idea of sort of going towards opportunity or towards hope. I love this big kind of like fatter fish whose fin is just up above the water line. That's pretty. I love this font on the cards too. Oh, the Magician. Look at this. She's like, the lines around her face make me think of inspiration and like, I don't know, connection to magic. And then there's rain falling on her. Her feet have these lines coming out. So you get that like really rooted, kind of grounded feeling. And then there's a small flame at her feet. So all the elements are fully present here. But it's her, like she's connected to all of the elements. I love that. Beautiful High Priestess. Did I talk about the card backs? I can't remember, but they're real pretty. Look at these conch shells. And then these like two figures, and they are definitely reversible card backs. Love me a wise owl as a High Priestess. She's got that deep, mysterious feminine energy, especially with the moon behind her. I love that. Aww. Yeah, very Empress here. Okay, this, I'm going to say deer, but I don't think this is a deer because I don't think female deers have antlers. Oh, look, there's a butterfly right on the tip of her antler. How sweet is that? And I love all the like plant life and more butterflies kind of growing around her. You definitely get that feeling of sort of bounty and connection to the land, which I like seeing in my Empress card. Look at this fat walrus as the Emperor. I love him. Look at all of his roly-poliness. Ugh. Okay, I'm really bad with animal identification, but here we have a couple of birds as the Hierophant. I might have to see what the guidebook has to say about that. Let's cheat. Let's peek. The Hierophant card illuminates wisdom and knowledge. It teaches us about authority and says, you are the teacher and also the taught. The Hierophant calls you to connect with the ancestral wisdom that is already inside each of us. This card may be guiding you to dig deeper, to connect, and to embrace the wisdom of the ages that is dormant within you. Or maybe it is pointing you to learn something new under the guidance of a special, trusted teacher. This potent card asks us to remember our worth by studying or reconnecting with our past. Who has contributed to who you are, both physically in this life and before you arrived? Maybe you're at a point in your life where you're starting a new spiritual journey, or you have the urge to study your identity and history, or perhaps you're simply starting a new intellectual endeavor. Seabirds are ancient. Oh, seabirds. The wisdom in their movement and in their eyes feels older than the millennia, countable on our fingertips. Only until we honor our ancients can we truly know who we are and live a life we love. Our existence is like a single lit fire, passed on and kept ablaze by each present-day life. It is beautiful. May we all heal and learn and connect. The red-faced cormorant, oh, that's what kind of bird it is a common seabird in the Aleutian Islands, which are the islands off the coast of Alaska. That's really cool. I really like how the guidebook is written. It's really beautiful. I love that it focused in on like sort of what you really what this card could mean that you should be doing. There's almost like an action step associated with it. Like look into your history, look into what has made you who you are. Like where are your personal traditions that have sort of formed you in the way that you look at the world. Really, really interesting. Oh, sweet Lover's card. Grizzly bear, right? Brown bear? I don't know, for the Chariot. I love that he's catching the salmon. You definitely get that idea of like he wants it, he goes for it, he grabs it, he's good, right? Or she. Oh, there's our trustful whale. I love that for strength because you get this idea of a combination of sort of a large, powerful force, but also that sense of gentleness and that sense of surrender. And again, that trust fall into the universe. That's all I can think of when I see that rainbow sort of wrapping around the back of the whale. I love that so much. The Hermit, oh, sweet little fox in the middle of his large kind of private space, open space, his den. The Wheel of Fortune. This is beautiful because you get that feeling of like blessings from the earth being granted to you. And that's also the image that we see on the cover of our little guidebook here. Love that. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so what are these? Are these, like you definitely get the feeling there's like plants at different stages of growth. So you have this like little sproutling, another little sproutling. It almost get the feeling like you're planting, but there's these two pouches, one white and one black. super curious if anybody has any thoughts. If you're watching, what do you think these white and black pouches are? Or if you know what they are, let me know. I wonder if it says in the guidebook what they are. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. This is going to be a slower walkthrough, I can tell, because I just want to take everything in. What seeds have you sown? What dreams will you grow? The Justice card reminds us of the choices we have. All of them, large and small, help shape our reality. The power's in your hands. It goes on from there. I don't see a reference to what these little pouches are. Yeah, I'd be curious if you know what those are. Oh, I love the Hanged Woman. So she is like dangling from a swing. I love the nudity in this deck so far because it feels very like connection to nature and not so much, it doesn't feel like it's trying to be about aesthetics, right? It feels like it's about presence and sort of uncloaking and being, yeah, I don't know how to describe what I'm feeling from it, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Is that Yarrow or there's another one too? Queen Anne's Lace? Yarrow or Queen Anne? I always get the two of them mixed up. And some little maybe daffodils. I love the little birds on the wire too. Oh, there's moon phases in the background. So we have the crescent moon, we have first quarter, full, and third quarter. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's from the back of the card. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. What a gorgeous way to represent death. So this is a hermit crab, and he's crawling out of a shell that he's literally outgrown. I'm getting goosebumps. He's crawling out of a shell that he's literally outgrown, and here is this shell. This is what we see on the backs of the cards. Did I already say that? I'm sorry. I'm really excited. This is a big, beautiful conch shell, and it's this idea that, like, you've outgrown this. You need to shed this because you've outgrown it. And here's something beautiful and bigger and better is literally waiting for you to go settle into. That is such a beautiful, like spot on representation of really what the death card stands for, right? You're shedding something, but not only are you shedding something that isn't serving you anymore or that time is over, like this could have been the most comfy, best shell ever. So it's sad and hard sometimes to leave something we're comfortable with, but we also see clearly the hermit crab has outgrown it. He's gotten bigger. And when we think of that from a personal growth standpoint, I mean, like, it really clarifies, I think, the meaning of death, especially for people who may not have a good grasp on what that card means for them. That's such a beautiful, powerful representation of that card. I love that. Temperance. Here again, you get that feeling of connection to nature. She looks like she's balanced and focused and meditating on this like plank or wire that's running across the water. You get the feeling that she's in a liminal space between land and sea and sky. And these birds are alighting on her hands. So there's this centeredness here. There's a peacefulness here. We even see some fish or dolphins or something in the water underneath her. Oh, oh, yes. Okay, I want to see if this is showing up in camera. Okay, it is. I'm like actually not looking at it from the same, I'm not looking at the deck from the same position as my camera. So sometimes I'm like down here soaking in the images and the camera's above me. But anyways, this is somebody who is literally dragging, you can see the chain and it's very heavy and their footsteps feel heavy and they're dragging something behind them. And that is exactly what the devil really represents. It's what are we carrying? What are we dragging behind us? What are we pulling? And it also very clearly illustrates the choice to pull that chain. Nobody's making this figure pull whatever it is that they're pulling, right? This is clearly a choice that they've made to keep dragging this along behind them. Such a beautiful representation of the devil. Oh, I love all the active elements in this Tower card. The rainbow is there, but there's the lightning hitting the figure at the top of the hill. There's flames, there's crashing waves, and you get all that tumultuousness and all of that chaos is happening. But the central figure is like making peace with that experience, is like one with that experience, is being a part of that experience. So they're not just letting the tower knock them on their butt. They're like making peace with that experience. That is very cool. The star, that is so pretty. Look at the color palette difference too. Like you really feel the shift from this energy to this energy. And I feel like so far, that's actually something I actually really am feeling so far. And this is maybe what I meant about the energy of the deck. Like I feel like each image seems to hold the energy of the meaning of the card. That probably sounds really silly. I don't know how to describe it properly. Maybe if you have the deck, you can chime in and back me up here. But I kind of feel like the color palette chosen, the way the image is represented, the feeling of the card feels like it's front and center. I think that's what I'm trying to say. This has a very calming, peaceful vibe. It's focused exclusively on the starlight, We have this like primary star here, which can help us with navigation, which can help us with kind of refinding our way. But we also have the water down below and the reflection in the water of all that's happening above. It's a very calming, peaceful image to look at. The moon. Oh, I love that she's wading hip deep in this water, like walking towards that energy of the moon. We have darkness on one side and lightness on the other, mirroring that high priestess duality. I love this. Oh, yes. I love the freedom here. For me, one of the keywords for the sun is authenticity. So seeing these two figures just like fully embracing the moment. Again, this unabashed feeling of like, this is who I am. I also really appreciate that the bodies in this deck so far feel very like normalized. Like they don't feel hyper, like they're perpetuating any particular beauty stereotype. They feel very natural. There's nothing here that like feels like it's, again, trying to focus on aesthetics. It feels like it's trying to focus on the feeling. And the sun really brings us that vibrant, alive feeling that I feel like this image really illustrates. Judgment is the snake. That's really interesting, particularly because we can see the shed skin down here, but the snake is in the sky. And we have a shooting star in the background. So it really makes you think of that bigger concept of skin shedding, which really the Judgment card illustrates that moment of choice to step away from maybe one way of living and step into a new way of living. It's different than death, but there is a similar choice being made, a similar opportunity, a similar call to release the old and step into the new. But I feel like oftentimes the Judgment card really illustrates that idea of making a choice to live life in an entirely new way, to level up, so to speak. And the idea of a snake shedding its skin is a really beautiful representation of leveling up, of, again, releasing so you can continue to grow. The World card. Oh, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. And you really feel that, again, you feel that connection to the planet through these cards. We have an eagle below, and I think that's a salmon above. Again, my animal identification, not awesome. But you definitely get that feeling of sacred space here, of wisdom of the world, like wisdom of nature. Beautiful. Oh, we have a bonus. That's right. We had a bonus card, the unseen. So let's read what Mari has to say about the unseen. I am you and you are me, one with all eternity. Oh, that rhymes. Look into the eye and tell me what it is that you see. In the darkness, there's only possibility. Oh, it's still rhyming. From the place where we are held with love before reaching this physical realm, that dimension of truly infinite, unconditional love, there lays your root and your life source. In this place, there is no I. We dissolve, and therein lays ultimate ecstasy. If the unseen appears for you, this may be a good time to honor those other dimensions. The love swirls around us and guides us daily if we listen. It is what fills our heart with desire, what silently pushes us home towards our true selves. It wants nothing more than our happiness. This is home. This is true love. The flower has wings instead of petals, and its roots are not tied to earth, reminding us of fluidity as the base of all energy. The only constant in life is change. All suffering comes from grasping, so in the unseen, we practice surrender. Let yourself fall into the loving arms of this colorful darkness. Its blood is your blood. Its magic is your magic. You are infinite, divine, one. Wow, I love how this guidebook is written. Oh my gosh. Her words are so beautifully put together. Ugh, gorgeous. And I don't know that this card would have struck me in a particular way without that, without those words. I love that. Okay, we're into the cups. It's my favorite suit. Is this the order in the guidebook? I just realized. I have no idea. Let's find out. Yeah, majors, then cups, wands, thunderstones. Okay. So Ace of Cups, this is gorgeous. It looks like a cup of tea. It's overflowing, or we get all this like fluid sort of dripping. Again, we have the Queen Anne's Lace or Yarrow. Again, still not sure which is which. I love that we have a little songbird here singing, and you get this feeling of gratitude for the blessing. Again, I feel like the energy of the card just really comes forward in the way that the artwork is done. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm really feeling pulled and tugged on energetically or emotionally with these cards. Again, I'm sorry about the talking with the hands. I'll try to stop. Two of Cups. I love this. So this is a really reversible kind of image. And when you look at it sort of sideways, right, we have two figures. Each are taking equally from the cup, right? There's this idea of balance, of harmony. Love that. Pretty. Look at, they're at a waterfall. I love that. And these look like mountain huckleberries or blueberries. So pretty. I love that each has a rainbow encircling them. Again, I love this feeling of like being in nature. The Four of Cups. This is one of those, I thought that a lot of the figures were actually going to be like this in this deck, where a lot of them had this hollow look to them, where they're sort of just outlined and they're kind of invisible in a way. It's interesting to me because I think we've only seen that. We saw it in the Lovers. Yeah, we saw it in the Lovers. The Magician. I'm just trying to see, maybe we'll look at that at the end, but I'm just curious if like, there's a reason why some of the figures are shown in like their full color and some are more like clear, like see transparent. Really interesting. This definitely conveys that feeling of the Four of Cups. I'm starting to wonder if the plant life chosen in these cards is chosen to depict something in particular. I'm just going to peek at the Four of Cups. I know I'm looking at the guidebook a lot, but I'm super curious just to see. Yep. The rain here is a symbol for life. It will fatten up the salmon berries. So that's what we have here. And keep the lupines blooming. That must be these. But the person sitting amidst the berries does not see them. They are too self-absorbed to notice the gifts that nature gives. Oh, they ignore nourishment and they cannot hear the songbird's song. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. And I feel like the guidebook is really good and I've just barely scratched the surface. Is that the Northern Lights happening in the background of the Five of Cups? Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Ugh, I cannot wait to like spend some quality time with this deck. The Six of Cups. This looks like she's meeting herself. The river could be literally the time that has passed, the life that has passed, and she's looking back or she's looking at herself. Again, we see that. Gosh, you guys are going to kill me. Is it Yarrow? I'm going to look. I bet it says if it's Yarrow or Queen Anne's Lace. I bet it's Queen Anne's Lace. You know how it is. You get something in your head and then you need to know. Okay, it's in the Hanged Woman too. Yarrow. Yep, it's Yarrow. Okay, that makes me feel better. It's Yarrow. The Seven of Cups. Oh, look at this. A plant. The beginnings of what looks like a tent or a teepee kind of thing. Some purple sludge. A flame. That looks like air, spirit, or water. A butterfly and a stone or a seed. And this person is actively like reaching for the fire, which is really interesting. Okay. This is one of my favorite Eight of Cups ever. Oh my gosh. I think the fact that this artwork is the style it is too just helps what's happening in the card really be super, super obvious. Here in the Eight of Cups, hopefully you can tell this in the camera, but she is fragmented, right? She has a piece of herself that is separated from the rest of her, and you get this feeling almost like she's reclaiming this or has reclaimed this. And Seven of the Cups are on the ground, but she's carrying one. She's drinking from it. She's taking what nourishment she can. She's still walking away. There's this really empowered feeling to this card, as if she has pulled herself back to herself, which is, oh, it's giving me goosebumps again. This is one of those cards that like I think really powerfully illustrates the concept of what the Eight of Cups is really representing, right? We're making a choice that even though we've put all of this energy and time and emotion and feeling into an experience, that we can reclaim, that we can say enough is enough, and no matter how good or not good this experience was, we can choose to move forward. And that's what she's doing here, and it's really powerful. Here we have the Nine of Cups. Oh, just laying out in the sun. There's some rain, a rainbow, some sunshine, some flowers, some birds. That's a very contented card. I love it. I love that it's not just a dude with a bunch of wine. You guys know how I feel about that. The Ten of Cups. Oh, look at these fat birds. Whatever they are, they're adorable. Fat birds, overflowing rainbows in the cups, and rainbows over their eggs. And there's so many eggs. Like there's this feeling of like arrival and security. And it looks like this bird is grooming this bird, which is super cute. Love it. Oh, well, we can just stop the walkthrough here because there is a gorgeous little baby sea otter as the Page of Cups, which is one of my significators. And I love sea otters. They are one of my favorite creatures ever. And we're done here. We can go home. We're done. We can stop watching. Walkthrough's over. This deck is amazing. Anyways, so what I like right away, though, I will just say there is a different structure to the court cards. So instead of Page, Knight, Queen, King, we have Seed, Root, Flower, and Harvest, which is of course the life cycle of a plant. The seed is what, and I like this because I actually do feel like pages are kind of the potential. They carry a lot of the potential of their suit. So they have a lot of it within them, but it's not always fully realized or fully embodied yet. And that is a great word for that. So I love that. Love the sea otter as the Page of Cups. I'm good. Or the Seed of Cups. Here we have a salmon again, I'm pretty sure. It's not what's in the Fool, is it? No. I don't think so. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this is a salmon in the Knight of Cups. That really, really works. Salmon are very determined. They move towards their goal, but they are following their instincts in a lot of ways. And I think that the Knight of Cups archetype is often very much like sort of moving in the direction of his goals, his dreams. Flower of Cups. Don't know what kind of bird that is, guys. Sorry. There's our queen. Please tell me in the book. Her intuition, her warm feathery embrace is there for you. I don't see that it says what kind of bird that is. I feel like I'm supposed to know. It's probably really obvious. Is it like just a regular swan or something? Like I feel like I should know and I don't know. If you know, please tell me down below. And then we have our Harvest of Cups, the King of Cups. I think this mountain goat for the King of Cups is such a great representation. More than that, though, I really actually love the word harvest because all of the kings represent that idea of harvest, of having sort of reached a place of mastery, of having mastery over that element. And that is really a harvest. That is what we reap from the work that we've put in regards to the element or the thing that suit represents. So when we're talking about the realm of our emotions, which the cups represent, the harvest being the king of that suit is like, yes, we have mastered our emotions to the sense that we can be in them, but that we don't necessarily let them rule us. And there's this like beautiful balance that we learn to embody when we're in that king space. So this really works for me. This just works for me. You know, it's funny because I originally anti-hauled this deck because I'm like, oh, I don't need another animal deck. But this is not an animal deck or even really just a nature deck. It feels like it's like, I can't describe it. I can't describe it, you guys. But I'm pretty thrilled this is in my hands right now. The Ace of Wands. This is cool because the wands look like they are either lavender or some other kind of herb, maybe rosemary kind of wand. The hand looks like it's coming right out of the universe, which is really cool. And yeah, love that. The Two of Wands. Beautiful. Yes to the Three of Wands. I don't know. I'm loving all the nudity in this deck, and I think it literally is because these figures are so like just kind of bubbly shaped. They're not trying to depict. It's not about the human form, right? It's about, again, that sort of that presence. I feel like that's what it's about. The wands are all this same kind of plant. I wonder what it says. I'm gonna cheat again. Let's see if it says in the ace. Okay, I don't know, but the Three of Wands. Okay, loving the Four of Wands, loving the butterfly wings. This feels like a real recognition of, for me, let me back up. For me, one of my keywords for the Four of Wands is milestone, right? It's a moment when we get to pause and notice how far we've come. And the wings, it feels like she's claiming her wings. Does that make sense? Like she's like, okay, I've come along this far. I get to have my wings now. So it feels like that it's representing that milestone. Now, I could be seeing what I want to see because of how I typically read, but I think that's really, really well done. The Five of Wands. Here we have a couple of bears facing off over territory, perhaps. Oh, she's riding a bald eagle in the Six of Wands, and her hands are outstretched and her heart is open and she's lifted her face to the sky. This is a moment of success, of recognizing success. Beautiful. Check out this ferocity in the Seven of Wands. Like, she is a badass and I love it. She's holding on to her staff of power. She's got flame in front of her. She's literally got a face of like, she's got a large raven on her shoulder and she's like, try me. Love this so much. The Eight of Wands. Ooh, again, we have what looks like moon phases along with our wands going across. You get the feeling for sure here with the moon phases, I think, of like right timing. And here it's almost like the right time is this, oh gosh, third quarter moon. Really cool. Love that. The Nine of Wands. We have like the shadow of like a cat-like wild cat in the background there. Just sort of lurking, keeping a watchful eye. Oh man, look at the Ten of Wands. She's carrying the flame. I mean, the wand suit, really, that's often what we're doing, right? When we're in that slog where we're feeling really overburdened, it's because we care about what it is that we're carrying. We usually have ended up overburdening ourselves because we are passionate about what it is that we are doing, what we're trying to accomplish. Oh, look, is that, okay, a seal, right? A seal in the Seat of Wands. Another playful water creature. Love it. The Root of Wands, that's a weaselly kind of creature. I love that for the Root of Wands. That's awesome for the night kind of energy. Love the little flames in the border of the card. I also like how the actual plants here are kind of creeping over the actual border of the card, which is a cool kind of three-dimensional effect that I love. Interesting that this weaselly creature has his paw or his hand forward as if he's manipulating that fire, as if he's like working with the element of fire. Really cool. And then we have that raven with the fire right at the breast area. Love, love that. Wolf for the King of Wands or the Harvest of Wands is really cool here. Definitely somebody whose call has impact, right? So now we're into swords, and they're called Thunder in this deck. Here we have the Ace of Thunder. This is cool because the Ace of Swords is very much like a strike of lightning. Like it's got that kind of an impact, right? It's like a sudden stroke of awareness, a flash of knowledge, a flash of clarity. But there's that sudden flash that sort of brightens the sky. So lightning is a really beautiful representation of the kind of energy and the kind of clarity that I think thunder, or that the sword can represent, the Ace of Swords can represent. Oh, that's the image from the front of our box here, the Two of Thunder. Interesting, she's underwater and she's like pulled into herself. Her forehead is to her knees. This is a very like, it's like child's pose, right? It's a turning in. It's a self-care kind of pose. It's making me feel like she's just tuning everything else out. She's underwater. She's away from all the distractions and she can just focus and figure out what it is she needs to figure out. I really enjoy that. Ooh, I love this different take on the Three of Swords, or the Three of Thunder in this case. We have 3 lightning bolts all around. We have a biological heart shape here with a face in it. And you almost get that feeling of like being aware of what's happening in the heart space, but also aware of the necessary growth to move through that experience. The Four of Thunder, she's resting on a rainbow and all the lightning has just like laid down underneath her. The Five of Thunder. Oh, this is interesting. So she looks like she's handing lightning bolts off to this fox to carry up the hill. And she's going down the hill. I'm curious because usually in the Five of Swords, we see somebody being kind of a jerk, right? Like somebody is taking things too far or like taking advantage in some way. And I don't see that here. It almost looks like she's handing over the job. Let's see. She was striving to climb to the top of the ridge when she realized that reaching the peak was not actually something that she really needed. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. It's not the Five of Swords as we normally see it. It's the Five of Swords if the person who's being a bit of a bully realizes they don't need to work so hard at it. Like they don't need to do that. They don't need to go to those kinds of lengths to get what they want. Okay, sorry. I'm extrapolating, but let's go on. Fox friend helps take her lightning bolt offering to the top. Too often, we push ourselves too hard for too long. We stay in relationships, interpersonal or professional, when we know we should leave, or we refuse to surrender in a fight. Whether that fight is with someone else or is an internal struggle of your own, know that resolution is possible, but first you have to know that it is okay to surrender. This is key when following our true path. It's easy and natural to place high expectations on ourselves, to struggle and strive in vain. Please take a moment to stop and feel. Does it feel better to stop where you are? No need to climb to the tippity top of this mountain. Maybe you're just fine where you are, and your path has other plans for you, another destination. The Fox in the Five is here to remind us of how deeply supported we are by our natural environment. Nature provides. She invites you to give and receive. Heal yourself, heal the earth. Oh my gosh, another goosebump moment. And look, heal yourself, heal the earth is the tagline of this deck. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. I love it. Okay. Six of Thunder. Okay, she's riding a humpback whale, being ferried off to harmony, to peace. Like, no complaints. Hello, no complaints at all. Beautiful. Okay, I don't know what kind of wildcat this is, so I'm going to cheat and look, but that's a really cool Seven of Thunder. I wonder if it's still going to have that sort of sneaky sneak feeling that the Seven usually has. Yep, I can sense defeat from afar. I thank the lessons for protecting my truth. The solitary lynx looks back, taking a pause in their step as if sensing something unbalanced behind them. The lightning bolts signify their attunement to their surroundings. Perception of dishonor is crystal clear. Have you been dishonest with yourself or with others? Are you hiding your truth? Or has someone in your sphere been deceitful towards you? Oh my, the way the guidebook is, the way the guidebook is written is it's really good, you guys. It's really good. Eight of Thunder. Wow. All the lightning bolts behind her, all the plants in front of her, but she's raising her hands. She's like engaging with this process. This is a very empowering deck. I feel like it's definitely a deck that gives you back your agency, your power. There's a strong self-worth theme throughout these cards that is totally floating my boat. Y'all know that's what I'm about here. You know we talk about self-worth here, and this, the way the guidebook is written so far, the way the artwork is depicted so far, this is definitely a deck that I feel like is going to help you connect to yourself, to personal growth, to personal responsibility, to holding yourself accountable, but doing it in a loving way. I am all about it. Here's the Nine of Thunder, and she is literally cloaked in the stars and the lightning. Like she's wrapped up in it. And that's kind of how we feel when we're in a Nine of Swords moment. Like we're all wrapped up in our head, in our thoughts. We're sort of cloaked in it. We can't see the clarity. And she's trying to look, I think, for the clarity. She's trying to look for the light of the moon and the clear sky. She's trying to get out of this muck and like into a place where she can think clearly again. And the Ten of Thunder, that feeling of being just totally overtaken by all of these lightning bolts. Oh, it's a white fox. What do you call it? Arctic fox in the Seed of Thunder. Our page. I love the adorable critters in the pages throughout the deck so far. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but that is the Root of Thunder. And it looks like he's flying into the storm because we have the lightning over here on the right-hand side. And we see all this wind and movement, and we can tell he's flying into the fray or into the storm, which is very reminiscent of our Knight of Swords. Ooh, that is powerful. We're just going to check the guidebook for that one too, because why not? We're in for a dime, in for a dollar here. I want to see what it says about this Queen, the Flower of Thunder. That's really a powerful card. Resilient, direct, loving, a sage. She embodies truth, honesty, and surviving through life's heartaches and headaches. The energy of this card is one of bold, clear communication coming from an experienced, loving, powerful heart. Her honesty refreshes. She is free of judgments and filters out indiscretions. She holds your troubles with compassion and candor. Rest under her wings if you need to. Let the clarity of her actions and words inspire you to be true. She has flown above the storm, knowing how to wager the energy necessary for flying steadily and focusing on her path. She grabs the lightning with her talons. There is no divide between the cosmic enlightenment of the bolts and her own heart. Wow, that's so pretty. Oh, it's a moose. Harvest of Thunder. The epitome of the air element, our harvest of thunder has conquered the mind. And it goes on from there. I'm not going to keep reading the guidebook, but I really want to because it's really good. All right, so now we're in the Pentacle Suit, or in this deck, it is the stones. We have the Ace of Stones. It looks like a planet. Beautiful. Yay, look at that floppy, fuzzy, fluffy, curvy, fat body. I love it. I love it. I love the juggling here. That's classic Rider-Waite-Smith for me. The Three of Stones, they look like they're working together to perhaps plant or harvest something. It almost looks like a volcano in the background there, but you can tell there's this harmony with their work. Their hands are together. They are working towards the same goal. Oh, look at this, the Four of Stones. There's this vast field with so much happening and so much available, but she's still, and she's sort of holding on to her resources, holding on to what she has. The Five of Stones. Look at this person who has like put their head below the surface of the water and is seeing this gorgeous sea turtle. Almost like, I want to be where you are. I want to be where the light is. Like that's a very Five of Pentacles kind of experience. The Six of Stones. The sharing, the rebalancing of wealth or of resources. The Seven of Stones. This person looks like they're content with waiting to see how everything's going to pan out. I love the rainbow up top. It does remind me of the 7 chakras. I don't think that's necessarily intended, but there's 7 and they're in rainbow colors, so I'm going to roll with it. But I love how in harmony and how balanced they feel, like they're content to just wait and see how things go. The Eight of Stones, this fine detail on pottery is such a great representation of mastery. The Nine of Stones, enjoying her connection to the earth. The Ten of Stones. Oh, I love this. This looks like somebody who's by herself, so we don't get that feeling of generations or family or community, but rather somebody who looks like they are content all by themselves. They have chickens here, there's eggs, there's a cat, there's a really contented look on this figure's face. Let's just bring it up closer so you can see. There's just this really contented feeling, right? Beautiful foal, a deer, a Bambi for the Seed of Stones, totally works. A bumblebee on a flower for the Root of Stones. Bumblebees are great for the Knight of Pentacles energy, I think, because bumblebees are hard workers. They're very dedicated to their task. They're very focused in that way. Look at the chubby bear. Flower of Stones. I'm literally losing my voice. I don't know why. I haven't filmed that much today, but that's what's happening. This is so cute and like content, but also like very mama bear kind of peaceful energy. This to me is totally what the Queen of Pentacles is like, right? She's very comforting and reliable and steadfast and caring, but very tangible with her caring. I don't know what you're called. I don't know what kind of creature this is. I'm going to have to look it up, but it's cute. And for the King of Pentacles, that really works. Let's see, what are you? I should know this. I feel like I should know this, but I don't know this. A musk ox. Musk ox mama with your unfailing resolve. I see how gentle and steady you flourish at every turn. The Harvest of Stones is the most reliable of them all. There's no task too complex or too challenging for her steady hooves. It goes on from there. You guys. Let's zoom out. This is really, really pretty. I really need to shuffle this right now. It is a bit of a chunky deck, but it is standard tarot size. A little bit of a stiff shuffle initially. That's going to be partly because of the gilding and partly because it is a thicker cardstock. It's probably at least 350 GSM. It might be thicker than that, but I think it's 350. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Let's do one more sample and see what comes out. Oh, the Four of Stones. So let's see, oopsies. Let's see what the guidebook has to say about the Four of Stones, and we'll take a quick look at the guidebook. So we have our title page, Marisa Rice Aparicio Tovar, edited by Kelly McConnell, published by Mari in the Sky. So there's praise for the deck. Hey, I recognize some of those names. Jennifer Ace of Tarot. Hi, Jennifer. That's awesome that you're in here. Dedication to our furred, feathered, finned, four-legged friends to the trees, mountains, and seas. Oh, these symbols, they're also on the, excuse me for clearing my throat. They're also on the back of the box. We have like a crescent moon, a water droplet, a wand, a lightning, and I think it's the suits. So we have the Major Arcana, the Suit of Cups, the Suit of Wands, the Suit of Thunder, and the Suit of Stones. Love that. Some appreciation. Okay, so here's our table of contents. We have an introduction, how to, simple spreads, the cards, major and minor arcana rather, opening intention, and then we get into our card meanings, and there's an author and editor bio at the end. So this is how it's formatted. You get a full-size black and white image from on the left-hand side, and then a full page right up on the right-hand side. And if you look in the top right corner, bring it up close, you can see major arcanas, cups, wands, thunderbolts, or thunder, I should say, and stones right there. So really easy to navigate the book, which is awesome. And I love the feel of this paper. It's that sort of like, I don't know how to describe the paper, but it's not that glossy paper. It's like a matte paper, and it's got just a bit of like a cream tone to it. It's lovely. Anyway, Four of Stones. I protect my body, my space, and my identity. Sitting in a meadow of cotton flowers with pink salmon swimming by, the Four of Stones contemplates boundaries and what is meaningful to her. Yes. She asks us to think about our relationship with control. Do we feel safe in our emotional and mental space? Are we in need of extra buffers to protect ourselves? Who we are, what is important to us, and what we choose to believe in should not be dictated by another person, by society, or by our families. Our sense of self is sacred, and feeling safe within ourselves is integral to our experience on this earth. If we want to live our best life, or at least live a life that we love, we must stay true to ourselves. This most often means protecting who we are and learning to manage what energy enters our sphere and what energy is kept out. If you struggle to find this balance, know that you're not alone. The challenge and the hard feelings that come with it are what teach us exactly what we need to define our boundaries and to define who we are. If you've been stuck trying to have too much control, try loosening up some. Let the sound of the gently flowing salmon stream inspire you. I don't even know what to say, you guys. It's so pretty. And the way that it's written is very much like healing, nurturing, supportive. I really think this deck is more than meets the eye. I didn't back this on Kickstarter and I anti-hauled it, partly because I was like, again, I don't need another animal deck. I have so many, but I don't have any other deck with this voice. And I do work with my guidebooks, and I do think that this is an absolute treasure. And can we talk again about how gorgeous this death card is? Like, oh, there's so many cards in here that I think just so perfectly illustrate the meaning of the card. And there is this real deep connection to the natural world present throughout the artwork in this deck. And there is this very gentle, loving, supportive vibe throughout this deck. And there is a sense of reclaiming of personal power and connecting to your sense of self-worth in this deck. There's a lot of wisdom here. There's a lot of like what feels like channeled beauty, power. I don't know what the right word is. Messages from spirit here. It feels deeply rooted in the kind of wisdom that is really hard to find. I don't know how else to say that, but I'm really, really, really excited that this found its way to me. I don't think it was one I was going to purchase, to be completely honest with you. So the fact that I ended up with this is such a gift and such a blessing, and I'm very, very grateful. So I just wanted to share this with you. I will, again, as I mentioned, have links down below where you can check out this deck for yourself. I definitely encourage you to check it out. It is really, really beautiful, and if you are drawn at all to this artwork, if you're feeling called to some of the messages that came through in the guidebook, then don't sleep on this one. It's really special. So that, my friends, is the Gentle Tarot by Mari in the Sky. Thank you so, so much for joining me. Please do remember to click like on this video if you enjoyed my walkthrough or if you found value in it. Please do subscribe if you're new here and click the little bell so you're notified of all my future videos. Thank you so, so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.